ತಗೋ.
An absolute busy day on mind with lots to do. So here I have a bowl of fruits and a drink that I can easily fit in my Teddy Blake Bella Palemelatto, which is not just very trendy and stylish, but is also quite spacious, making it perfect to carry all that is needed for the day. And the best part is Teddy Blake have a massive sale starting from 22nd of July up till the 28th of July, discounts with up to 70% off. Sounds amazing, right? So please make sure to check the description box with details and the link. My Teddy Blake bag is so perfect that I can just carry it for any occasions. In fact, with any of my outfit, it just matches perfect. This gorgeous bag of mine has different sections, making it very easy to keep things and to find them as well, which is so important for a lady. I have got all that is needed for the day. Isn't this the most gorgeous beauty to carry out and about? And I'm off that I have dropped Shreya for her theory driving test center, and there is no point in me going home and then coming back to pick her up again. So thought we'll sit down in open air with this beautiful view of the bridges and do the editing bit, as I'm really looking forward to finishing off at least a few videos before I go on a holiday to India. Yes, you heard it right. I can actually feel it too. After 4 long years, we'll be able to see our families. Working outdoors is actually a great feeling that I think I should be doing every now and then. A little change in workplace actually makes you feel really good. And here is Shreya after passing her theory test, a very happy girl. And we are now heading to town to do a little bit of quick shopping before we go home. Chocolate boxes, biscuit packs and little bits and bobs for our bigger family. Big things sorted that we can actually start packing now. It's an absolute gorgeous day with lots of sunshine. It's midday now and we are back home. These plants need to be watered. It's that hot here with no complaints. I mean, the sunshine is so beautiful that I just want the sun to shine for as long as he can. I have a little patch of redness on my foot. Looks like an insect bite to me, as it's really very itchy. Soil has great elements to heal that I take very little of soil and I combine it with water to make like a paste to apply onto this area. Soil has healing effect when I applied it on my skin yesterday, and this is day 2 and I'm feeling very nice when I applied it on my skin today as well. I definitely need lots and lots of fresh air in, as I'm planning to do lots of things in the kitchen today, as we are planning to have a picnic in our very own back garden later in the evening, for which I begin with lots of fresh fruits. You can actually use any kinds and varieties that you like. I have red and green grapes, raspberries and strawberries to make mixed fruit jam. I have given them a good wash. Now making the dough ready, which I'm actually going to split into 2 different varieties of picnic food later. The base remains the same for both of them. Flavored flatbread with onions, tomatoes and dill leaves, and buns with herbs, for which I have 7 grams of dry yeast, a teaspoon of sugar, warm water just a level above the yeast that I combine, resting it so that the yeast rises up. In my Kenwood food processor with the dough kneading blade, I have 2 cups of plain flour measured and 1 cup of wheat flour. A teaspoon of parsley, a teaspoon of oregano, quarter teaspoon of thyme, a teaspoon of pizza seasoning, that I add all of the herbs in the dough and along with a teaspoon of chili flakes, salt to taste, and a tablespoon of olive oil. Very important is the right amount of salt, which will make a huge difference in taste when eating flavored flatbread. So make sure it's of the right quantity needed. Yeast has beautifully risen that I knead the dough with half a cup of water approximately. We want the dough to be nice, soft and fluffy. To a big bowl, I smear olive oil and place the dough to rise up by covering it tightly with a cling film. To activate the yeast to rise up further, oven space is always empty, so using this space, if you have an empty shelf, you can use that space as well. Now I set making the mixed fruit jam, for which I use a thick based saucepan, and I just love to sit down and work as and when I can in the kitchen, especially when I'm chopping the vegetables or rolling the chapatis. Summer months is loaded with varieties of fresh fruits that we should incorporate in our daily cooking. I have used tiny strawberries, which will be slightly sour in taste, but if you like sweet version, then you should buy big sized ripened strawberries. I set it to boil by adding in water, just half the pot, covering it up to start bubbling fast, and I just keep checking and stirring occasionally. Meanwhile, in a pressure cooker, I have a handful of beans that I have roughly chopped, 4 medium-sized potatoes chopped in big size after peeling off the skin, 2 carrots to make vegetable patties. I'm also adding in a cup of peas and a cup of corn to be pressure cooked for 2 whistles with water. To make the flavored flatbread, I have 1 big onion and 1 big tomato that I have chopped in lengthwise. It's easier when we cook things parallelly in the kitchen, making the cooking process faster. I have moved the jam pot at the back, and into a pan I have a tablespoon of olive oil, adding in the onions until they change color, a teaspoon of garlic and ginger paste until it's aromatic, and then I add in the tomatoes. Luckily, I had some frozen dill leaves in the freezer, which comes in very handy at times like this, that you can use it instantly. And I have added around 2 tablespoons of dill leaves, 1/8 teaspoon of turmeric powder, and very little of water to create moisture, a teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder, salt to taste, combining it well and keeping it ready to be used for later. The water is reduced and the fruits have turned to be really nice and soft. I press them down further with the help of the back of the spoon, and then I add in just around 5 teaspoons of brown sugar, which is the beauty of making fresh fruit jam at home with no preservatives, no artificial fragrance added, making it all healthy and rich. To make grapes, mango and pomegranate salad, I have around 20 green grapes that I have cut in circles and 1 large mango into small cubes. Peeling off the pomegranates. Fruit salads are a great way and an easy way to have lots of fruits during hot summer days. Make an interesting salad and serve it to your family. To these fruits, I grate fresh ginger, which is just around ½ an inch, adding in salt, fresh lime and fresh lemon. Both of them have their very own distinct flavors. Adding in pepper powder. Now the quantity is entirely an individual's taste and flavor that I combine well and keep it ready. Onto a large baking tray, I crush the baking sheet so that it fits in perfectly into the tray. The dough has beautifully risen that I scoop small portion creating bun shape. This dough has already got the flavors of the herbs infused. I cover them up with the same cling film until I work on the other elements. I add the tadka of the tomatoes and onions into the rest of the dough and combine it well to get infused. The dough is really nice and soft and is now well combined with flavors as well. I've washed my hand and have smeared very little of oil onto my finger to dab the dough flat. We want it to be thick and almost even all over, further to rise up again as there is still time for dinner. I keep it back in the oven for the next cycle of rising up, which will help the buns and the bread to turn soft and fluffy. I've drained the water from the vegetables cooked that I'm going to mash them up with the help of the masher. I have it transferred into the white pan just to work with ease. Adding in 2 tablespoons of garlic granules, 2 tablespoons of oregano, a tablespoon of chili flakes, 2 tablespoons of cajun powder and salt to taste. Mixing it well to make vegetable patties. I'm using wholemeal bread slices to make breadcrumbs. I use 2 ends and another slice of bread and I'm just roughly tearing it up with my hands and using a mixie jar to grind into a fine powder. This way we can make breadcrumbs at home, which can be used for different varieties of food for coating, which will taste really good, making it crispier on the outside. I have scooped a ball portion, making it flat and then covering it up with breadcrumbs. This way I keep all of them ready. You can either bake them in the oven or air fry them. Now that I have all of them ready, I have still got the breadcrumbs remaining, which can be stored in a freezer bag in the freezer to be used as and when you will need it. Remember the second batch of save that I had made in my previous video? I'm going to use it today to make a very tasty nibble with bread katories. I have a cupcake tray and a cup to cut or use it as a mold for the bread slices to get round shape. I drizzle olive oil and smear the oil. Now to get the cup shape so that the bread stays in that shape when getting baked, I add in peanuts into them so that with the weight they stay in that shape of the bottom. In which way the peanuts will also get roasted and will be lovely to eat them once they are crunchy. I set them in the oven for 5 minutes time. To make a watermelon fizz as a family drink to share, I add in watermelon cubes, salt, peppercorns and blend it into a juice. The bread has taken the shape of a cup with the help of the peanuts, so I take them out and place them separately to get roasted further, and also the bread slices at the bottom should get done now. I set it back to get crispier for the next 4 minutes time. I have grated coconut, 1 small onion, 1 green chili and finely chopped coriander leaves that I keep ready to combine later as the save will become soft if done now. The bread katories are now ready. You can see both the breads have risen up further slightly. The peanuts are yet to be done, so I transfer them onto this tray now. Smearing olive oil on all of them before getting baked. I've placed it in the oven, setting to fan at 200 degrees temperature for 20 minutes time. I drizzle in olive oil onto the veggie patties to be air fried. in which way everything will be warm when it's time to eat, with things getting done parallelly in the kitchen. The air fryer is preheated and I have arranged them to be air fried for 15 minutes time at 180 degrees. Getting the family drink ready in a very large glass with a few mint leaves, lemon and lime slices, a few watermelon cubes, fresh watermelon juice and lemonade. It's dinner time and still very warm and very bright. This is the beauty of British summer. It's 8 o'clock at night, and can you believe with the brightness? And in the initial years when we came here, we literally used to check the time every now and then and just couldn't believe to what time it actually was. It gets really difficult to know what time of the day or evening it is with the brightness. The food is ready and so are we. Kids are really hungry, so we better get started enjoying the food. I'm now mixing the save with the chopped onion and coriander and coconut, and then I fill up the bread cases. You can add some kind of chutneys like tikka chutney or mint chutney of your choice, making it more chatpata. The picnic food for today was just peaceful to be enjoying in our very own space in a back garden that we actually sat down for hours, as it was still very warm and nice outside than being indoors. I honestly felt and thought we could have had Beladinglu Ota hopefully next time. But for now, just enjoy the sunshine, home cooked food with your family and make the most of the day spending time outside in fresh air as and when you can, either for your work or enjoying the food. Everything will seem nicer, better and healthier, and you will be a happy soul with the little changes made.